Welcome to Mysteries, Myths, and Legends. I'm Taylor.
I'm Savannah.
Welcome to the show. Happy Wednesday, everybody.
Happy February.
Nice. We get an extra day this month.
Yes, we do. An extra for regular February, but like less for every other month.
Well, yeah.
So
That's
technically.
true.
But
This is true. Shout
yeah.
out to the Leap babies
Yes.
who
Oh my
only
god, that
have
always
birthdays every 4 years.
Yeah, like I mean, okay, I always think about it because I'm like if that was me, would I celebrate my birthday the day before or the day after?
I
Like the
would celebrate
28th
it
or
the
the
day
30th?
before because it's going to be March if you do it the day after.
True. I
And I
guess
feel
it might depend like what time of day
True.
like you were born, right?
Maybe I wouldn't if I was if I was born in February though. I would want to be a February baby, so I'd be like it's the 28th.
Okay, but I think legally it would
Oh,
be
I see what you're
the
saying.
first, right?
Well, I guess legally it would be the 29th of February. So
So then you would have to celebrate it on the first because it's the day after.
my question, more importantly, is on legal documents. Does it only say like you're 8 years old when you're actually like 16?
It can't. That
Or I can't do math, but you know, right?
You know, we have many questions. So if you're born on a leap year, just let us know and
Yeah.
we can
Specifically on February 29th.
yeah, we need that information.
We do. I mean, we could find the information, but are we going to? No.
No.
So let us know. Please. In other news, I forced Savannah to go see Wonka.
Oh yeah.
I finally
Yeah,
did
we
it, guys.
Yeah, we went.
It was amazing.
See, okay, but we went and saw it, and I even gave my rating at the end, and you just called me a hater for it.
She's a
So
hater.
I knew I wasn't gonna give it a high score, and I gave it a 6 out of 10, and I think that is very good.
No. I gave it an 8 out of 10. I feel like 6 out of 10 is saying that it's good enough, but it's bad.
Correct.
Yeah. But I thought it was an 8 out of 10. If not even an 8.5. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I also feel like the fact that you said you already knew you weren't going to give it a high rating means prejudice.
Okay, but I knew because I saw the trailer, and
Okay,
you
I
know,
saw the trailer.
yeah.
It was hilarious. The music was amazing. The songs amazing. Timothy Chalamet, amazing, beautiful. Love of my life. It was amazing.
Listen, I mean, I'm not saying don't go see it because like a 6 to me, that's still high enough to like at least see it once.
How would you feel if somebody rated this podcast a 6 out of 10?
I
Not
mean,
very good. So therefore,
okay, but that you can't just pressure me. You can't just peer pressure me into rating everything a high score, even if I don't like it.
no, I can't. I'm just proving to you that you're a hater.
Yeah, I know.
Listen,
I know I'm a
little
hater, and I'm
Timmy-
fine with it.
It's fine because it was so good. I really loved it. So I'm not even just saying that. I actually really did. Really like it. I would actually see it again.
I mean, it was cute. It was cute, and the songs do get stuck in your head.
Very bad.
But,
very
you know.
bad. Yeah, I would see it again and will because now my parents want to see it.
Oh, nice.
I mean, not in theaters. Probably. It's probably going to come out like next week on Netflix or something, but it was very good. Very, very good. Not to Savannah's standards, but to mine. So, anyways, Wonka aside, go rate and review us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, please. But if you want to go ahead and get into your story, Savannah.
Okay, yeah, let's just get away from Wonka and get into what I'm going to talk about instead.
Whatever.
Because I'm a hater. But anyway, okay, so this week I'm going to talk about a childhood legend that we all know of, the Tooth Fairy.
Oh. You know what? I was going to be mean. And I was going to say, I already decided to give your story a 6 out of 10, but I'll give it a chance.
Oh my
I'm just
gosh.
kidding. I'm excited about the Tooth Fairy.
See, you're gonna like this one. You're gonna like it.
I also love the movie that I'm sure you haven't seen with The Rock.
Oh yeah, no, I have seen it.
Oh, wow. Claps to Savannah, guys. A cinematic lover. She's seen 2 movies.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, just kidding. The Tooth Fairy.
Yeah. So anyway, the Tooth Fairy. This legend comes from Western culture, so like Western Europe and the U.S., but it is actually not really all over the world, surprisingly.
I feel like that's not that surprising.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'll get more into it. But so the Tooth Fairy legend may have started in the United States. It's hard to trace back where exactly it like first like came about. The Tooth Fairy also visits kids in Canada, the UK, and most of Northern Europe.
Nice. Very nice.
Yes. So if you are not from any of those places, the Tooth Fairy, I'll describe her a little bit. The Tooth Fairy is often pictured or described as like a cute little fairy, like similar to Tinkerbell. That's what I picture at least. Is that like about what you would picture too?
It is, except for now, all I can picture is The Rock Johnson as like a little fairy. But
Yes.
yeah, I picture a
Yeah.
little girl. A little girl, but like instead of green dress, it's giving pink dress in my brain.
Yeah, yeah, not exactly like Tinkerbell, but like that sort of fairy. Yeah. So the Tooth Fairy, this is the story of like what she does. So a child will lose their one of their baby teeth, and that night they put their tooth under their pillow, and the Tooth Fairy comes to get it in the middle of the night and leaves some money or a prize or something under the pillow. And I actually used to have a little Tooth Fairy pillow that I used.
Oh, I've heard of those. I didn't have one,
Yeah.
but
So
I've heard of those.
yeah, it had like a little pocket on the front.
That's cute.
So you could use that instead of like putting it under your head,
Yeah,
you know?
that's cute.
And also my tooth fairy, she used to bring me money from other countries.
Oh, what? That's
Yeah.
crazy. Wow. My tooth fairy, I did put it underneath my head. Or I also sleep with like a lot of pillows, so I would just put it under any pillow that was
Okay.
in my bed in like a sandwich bag, and then there would always be $1.
Oh.
It was always
okay.
a dollar per tooth. So
Nice.
yeah, I was
Yeah,
rich
mine-
back in the day.
See, yeah, you got like spendable money. Mine was from other countries, so I kind of just saved it.
Okay, but that's cool though.
Yeah, it is cool, but I definitely like I think I still have a box full of this tooth fairy money somewhere.
Oh, see, that's cool. I definitely spent
was-
mine.
Yeah. So, this tradition, like, it sounds normal because we are so used to it, right? But, like, it had to start somewhere. So,
For sure.
we're like, where did this come from?
Also, it doesn't sound normal. It sounds very capitalism.
It-
I
I
feel
mean,
like in my
little
brain,
bit, yeah.
like it's giving very America. That's how I
Yeah.
think of it. Like, oh, you lose a tooth, we'll give you some money.
I mean, kind of, but actually, there are some, like, old Norse traditions
Oh,
that, where, like, when a child loses their tooth, they are paid for it.
oh,
So,
okay. Well, maybe not.
so it's kind of always been like that. I
That's
don't
cool.
know.
They're valuable, I suppose. Somebody needs them.
Yeah, yeah. And there are some like other old superstitions of baby teeth. So like basically like doing something to them or like with them in order to help the child later in life or like get their teeth to grow properly. And some of the traditions are still done today. So I'm going to talk about that later, some of the superstitions. But let's go back to this like old French story because it is very popular it was very popular, and it like may have started some different traditions surrounding teeth. So okay, let's just dive into this.
Let's do
So
it.
there's this story called The Good Little Mouse.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's a 17th century French fairy tale.
Interesting. Never
So
heard of this.
I'm gonna like summarize it. Um, so basically, there is a king and a queen in, we're gonna say, Kingdom A, right? And then in Kingdom B, there's just a king, right? So King B kills King A and takes the queen
Oh,
and puts her in the dungeon.
oh, why would he do that?
Yeah. So she's imprisoned, and she's like down there for years at this point. And she gets a visit from a little fairy.
Okay.
So this fairy comes down and it's like, I'm gonna help you. Like they talk about it, and they decide on a plan to get her out of there. So the fairy turns herself into a mouse, and then
Okay.
goes to the king, and knocks his teeth out.
That's funny.
And then she hides under the king's pillow, and like knocks him out, like kills him.
Love that.
So yeah,
I
so
mean,
yeah,
that's what he gets for
this
locking her down there. Like, all because he
exactly.
was mad he didn't have a wife? Like, okay.
Yeah, I mean that's what it kind of sounds like.
Honestly, it sounds like his teeth deserve to be knocked out.
Yeah. So after all this, the queen ends up getting out of the dungeon. She's free. And as you can see, this story involves like a fairy and teeth and hiding under a pillow. So you can see where some of this could have come
Oh,
from.
yes. Also, can you imagine, like, waking up out of your sleep to a mouse knocking your teeth out?
I know,
That's one of my worst nightmares for sure.
right? No, definitely. But yeah, also though, I want you to keep in mind that the mouse comes up later in some of these superstitions
Oh,
too.
interesting.
So the mouse and the fairy are taken from this story.
Interesting.
So, as I was sort of saying in the beginning, not every country has a tooth fairy, but most of them have traditions about losing baby teeth. So, in some countries, people will bury the tooth. They will place it in a mouse hole. So, like, just like a
Interesting.
place where a mouse lives. So
Mm-hmm.
that is basically like sacrificing it to the mouse. And offering the lost tooth would like supposedly it increases the likelihood that the child's teeth are going to grow back strong as rodent teeth.
Oh, I see. I
So
see.
I guess mouse teeth are strong. I don't know.
Yeah, they can chew through wires and stuff.
Well, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I mean, we
Um,
could, I guess, but like it would be very hard.
yeah. So yeah, you got to get strong teeth. You got to bring your tooth to a mouse. Um, another one is throwing the tooth between the legs or onto a roof, which
Hmm.
is yeah. Burning the tooth.
Does that work?
Um,
Their bone.
well, you can just like throw it into a fire.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. And this also, the burning of it, I have seen that come with like a superstition, but also tie back to a superstition about witches.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. It could be like, oh, you don't want your kid to turn into a witch. You burn
I
their
want
tooth.
my kid to turn into a witch.
Yeah. So maybe don't burn their teeth then. I don't
Okay.
know. Some people will put their teeth into a tree, like throw it up into a tree.
Mm-hmm.
Hide it in or on a wall.
On a
Just
wall is
putting it
interesting
everywhere.
choice.
Yeah. In many parts of the world, there is actually not a tooth fairy, but there is a tooth mouse.
Oh,
Yeah.
cute.
So tying back to the good little mouse, yeah. So in France, Mexico, Spain, Peru, and some others, there's just a few of them, there's a tooth mouse. So he comes around and takes your teeth for you. So in Sweden and Argentina, children will put their teeth into a glass of water before bed, and the mouse will come and take the tooth and drink the water, and then they leave a few coins for the kid to have in the morning.
Okay, see, I was going to ask if the mouse left money.
Yeah, he does.
That's cool.
So it's like you said that it was like capitalism, but I mean,
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
not
they
sounding
still,
like that anymore. I mean,
like it is still capitalism kind of, but it's like everywhere. It's not just the US.
yeah, see, in my mind, I thought it was nowhere other than outside the US.
Yeah.
So, but clearly, that's not the case. They got the tooth mouse.
Yeah.
So,
And also in South Africa and Colombia, the tooth mouse, they find teeth under pillows, just like for the tooth fairy. Or they could find your tooth in slippers, so you could leave it in the slipper for them.
okay.
In the Filipino tooth rat. So this is a tooth rat this time, not a mouse. So tooth rat, tooth mouse, similar.
Same thing.
He picks up the teeth from windowsills.
Oh, okay. That's
Yeah.
pretty chilling. Probably because he's so big, because he's a rat.
Right. Yeah, maybe. I think it's just so interesting that all these places, like everywhere, has like a little tradition on like some creature coming to take your baby teeth.
Yeah, that's weird.
Like so many places have these traditions.
Like, I feel like I feel like it's even weirder than how I previously thought it was just the United States.
Yeah.
Like,
Do you think a
what's the
mouse,
obsession?
like, would you rather have a mouse or a fairy come take your teeth?
well, obviously a fairy. What kind of question is that? But, like,
True.
I mean, as long as he's giving me money, I guess I don't really care. But the
Yeah.
thought of a fairy is better than a mouse or a rat.
Yeah. What if it's a magic mouse, though?
Well, am I gonna know? I'm not really gonna know any difference. So I guess I don't really care anyway.
That's true. You're not gonna know because you're asleep. So, okay. So some other countries just have like just traditions that they do, and superstitions that don't involve creatures coming to take the teeth. So in the Middle East and in Japan, baby teeth are thrown into the air. In Japan, they actually throw them up or down. So basically, the bottom teeth are thrown into the air, and the top teeth are thrown to the ground. So they're thrown in the direction that they grow. And if they don't throw them like perfectly straight up or down, then their teeth will grow in crooked.
Yikes.
It's a superstition.
Yikes. So, well, here's my question. Do they just throw them outside anywhere? Up or down?
I guess so.
That's fascinating. I wonder, there's just a lot of baby teeth around, I guess. I was trying
I
to
guess
think,
so.
like, I don't think my mom
Or-
kept mine, but maybe
Yeah,
she did.
I'm not sure if it's the case where like you'll throw it and then you collect it afterwards.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Because I feel like the grounds might be covered in
Yeah.
baby teeth at this point, if they just left them there.
Yeah, I don't know. They it wasn't specified. So
Yeah.
I don't know. But it is interesting to think about like throwing them in the direction that they grow in order to like make your new
You-
teeth,
Right.
your adult teeth grow in
You better
straight.
throw it straight is all I know.
Yeah. So next country I have here, in Turkey, the parents will bury their children's teeth, and they'll bury them in certain places in order to help their child, like, in their career.
Oh.
So, for example, if they wanted their child to become a doctor, then they would bury them next to a hospital.
Oh, I see. I
Yeah.
see.
So, you
That's
find
a lot
out
of pressure.
where you want your kid to work and bury them near there.
I wonder what the success rate on that child to job ratio is, you know?
I know. Yeah.
Like, does it
Yeah.
work?
I wonder what the success rate is. Also, and also, I wonder, like, is there a lot of teeth near hospitals because of this?
Yeah, or courthouses.
Yes. Yeah, just like you were saying, like if they're throwing all these teeth into the air, they got to be everywhere.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if they're burying them
Everybody
near,
wants a kid that's a doctor or a lawyer. Like, that's the main
yeah.
two.
Mhm. Mhm.
Hmm.
So there's got to be teeth everywhere.
Ew. Teeth kind
But
of sicken me.
they're buried though. They're in the ground, so you can't really
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
see them everywhere, but so, let's take it back to the US. The tooth fairy in the US, it can be traced back to an article in the Chicago Tribune in 1908.
Hmm.
So, honestly, 1908, it's like that was a long time ago, but
Not
not
really.
that long.
I expected
Yeah.
it to be way longer.
Yeah. I know, especially since there's like Norse legends
Yeah, right.
of teeth being paid for and
Right.
stuff
That's
and
like pretty much
these
only
yeah.
100 years, if
Yeah.
you round.
Mhm. So in the Chicago Tribune in 1908, Lillian Brown, she gave parents a suggestion that would help persuade children to have their baby teeth pulled. So basically they would be like not opposed to the idea of like getting rid of their baby teeth. They'd be like more happy about it because they're getting a treat out of it. You know, they're like, "Oh, this little fairy is going to come and take them and you get a prize."
100% that helped me pull out some of my teeth.
Oh yeah.
Cause like it hurt. Like most of mine like weren't easy fallouts. Like I had to pull it, but shut it in the door. You know,
Yeah.
all the tricks.
Actually, I just had a flashback because one of my friends in high school still had her baby teeth. Maybe not all of them, but a lot of her baby teeth when she was in high school, like her freshman year.
Wow, that's crazy. That kind of happened to
So,
me
yeah.
too.
Oh yeah.
I had yeah like four like 3 or 4 of them where
Yeah,
they didn't
maybe
come
it was
out
only a
pretty
few,
late. Yeah,
but it was like, I mean, obviously way more than everybody else
for
because
sure. Yeah, high school
you
it's
should have
crazy.
all of
I
yours.
think mine was
Yeah.
middle school, but yeah, it is
Yeah.
crazy how it works.
No, I remember her going to the dentist to get them pulled it was freshman year of high school, and she came back with like some holes in her mouth and
Oh,
stuff like
poor baby, that's horrible.
yeah. So yeah, sometimes they need a little persuasion to get out of there. They don't
Yeah,
always just fall out.
yeah, that's for sure.
And also by that point, she was definitely not getting visited by the tooth fairy.
Right,
So
right.
that sucks.
Actually, she had a big old bill after she left that dentist getting them pulled.
Right.
She owed
Right.
money. At least her parents did.
So yeah, this article mentioned it in the Chicago Tribune, and then eventually the idea spread across the US. And this is where this is at least the first written account of the tooth fairy. So, I mean, it could have been around before then too, but this is the first time it was written down that this was a thing to do.
Wow. That's pretty cool. I feel like it was here before just by word of mouth. But
Yeah,
that was
could
like
have
the
been.
first main widespread. That's gonna be my guess.
So this idea, it could have come from the Norse traditions that I was talking about before. Norse and like Northern European traditions of parents taking the child's tooth and like paying for it, giving them a small fee. In this tradition, the teeth were thought to be valuable and bring good luck. So that's why they were kind of bought off of the child. And warriors, the Vikings, they would even make necklaces out of teeth to protect them and keep them safe during battle.
Ew.
So,
I mean,
you don't like that idea?
I don't really like teeth like that. But I mean, that's a pretty sick necklace to have. I would not want it
Yeah.
though.
Yeah. Make you look a little scary.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Another thing people say solidified the idea of a fairy in the US is that Disney was getting really big at that time. And that could have had a hand in it because there's like fairies in popular Disney movies.
I bet that's
So,
definitely what it was.
yeah. Yeah. And also, I think about there's so many countries that have the tooth like mouse.
Yeah.
Like, it seems like way more countries have that than the tooth fairy.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just interesting how we landed on fairy versus a mouse.
Yeah.
You
I
know?
mean, personally, I'm glad, considering the
Yeah.
fact that I don't really like mice like that.
Maybe you would like them better if it was
Maybe.
portrayed like that
Maybe I
when you were
would.
younger. Yeah.
I feel like I
Yeah.
probably would.
Yeah. I don't know. But that's the story of the tooth fairy and how it sort of came about. So yeah. I don't know. I do kind of love that there's another tooth entity, like a tooth mouse too. Like maybe they work together, the tooth fairy and the tooth mouse.
Yeah, and they have like a tooth workshop going on. Like, I'm just confused what they do with the teeth.
Yeah.
Like, at least in the United States. You know what I'm saying? The fairies.
Yeah, I know. And also I want to mention there's like a nickname for the tooth mouse in Mexico. Or I guess I don't know if it's just I don't know if it's in all of Spanish speaking countries. I don't know, but it's Perez is his name.
Oh, okay. I love that it's a man. That's not what I was expecting.
Yeah.
Perez.
Mhm.
Oh,
Raton Perez.
I love that. Love that a lot.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's
That's
I actually just looked
crazy.
it up now because I wanted to make sure I got this right. But it's a figure in Spanish and Hispanic American cultures. So yeah, just
Wow.
Spanish speaking
Little
areas.
Perez
Mhm.
wants my little teeth. That's so cute. I was not expecting that story from you. Not at all. But
I
love
know.
it.
Actually, I was going to cover something. I was looking up a different kind of fairy, but then I realized I already kind of covered it before.
Oh, I
So
see.
then I just transitioned to the tooth fairy instead. And I'm
I
glad that I looked it up.
Yeah. No, I love that. That's crazy. I never knew any of that. And
Yeah,
that's
no, me either.
wow. Wow. Well, if there's, children not listening, hopefully you're not at this point. But I remember when I found out like everything was fake all in one day because I was like smart, you know. So I think it was like
Oh my gosh.
Santa first.
And
Oh, Santa, the Tooth Fairy, the Easter Bunny. Like I'm trying to think of like all of like the things. Once I realized that one of them wasn't real, which I think it was the Tooth Fairy first, and then I was like, wait, that is very similar to the Easter Bunny and Santa. So there's no, and then
oh my god.
I thought about it all day. I found out in the morning because I think I had lost a tooth, and then I sobbed about it because I was so sad that the Tooth Fairy wasn't real.
Did you just think about it or did you catch your mom coming into your room?
No, I just thought about it. I didn't catch her.
Oh,
I just thought about it. I was like, or like something was off. Something was off, and I was like, there was something that made me realize. And then so I went to school knowing the Tooth Fairy wasn't real. Thought about it all day long. I don't think I thought about school once that day. And then that's like when I got home, I was like, I confronted my mom. I was like, so you're telling me, I was like, are you Santa? Are you the Easter Bunny? And she was like,
oh my gosh.
yeah.
Mm.
Because I mean, she couldn't deny it at that point. So that was a tough day for me. But
Listen, okay, that never happened to me.
really,
So, okay, there was a moment where I realized that Santa wasn't real. And I don't know, I might have connected it all then, but I do remember because I was in the basement and I saw the wrapping paper that was used for the gifts that Santa brought. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, this is the wrapping paper, like, how would it be? How else would it be here? Like, my mom wrapped these presents, not Santa. So I went and I told her, I was like, I I found this wrapping paper down here. Like, I know, basically.
Yeah.
And she just went along with it. She was like, oh my gosh. Like, she actually brought my siblings down there too. And she's like, guys, look, like, he must have left it here.
Did you believe her?
I didn't believe her, but
Okay.
I put on a show for my siblings.
Okay.
So I
That's
was like,
really funny.
oh, Mom, you're right.
Yeah.
But I was like, no. Like, so then ever since then, I like faked it so my younger siblings didn't know.
Well, yeah, I had to fake it
And
too.
then, yeah, and then after that, like, we never talked about it. So, like, I kind of just, like, had to have it as a thought in my head, but, like, always pretend. So, yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
That
I mean,
is so
sometimes that's just how it goes. Like, you just have to pretend for the rest of your life. Like, I still
She's
do.
still pretending. That is so funny. I remember also one time I spoiled my younger friends, like I spoiled Santa for them because we were playing hide and seek in their house, and I went and hid in a closet, and I was trying to get like in a really good spot, so I was like moving stuff, trying to get behind some stuff, and I found these like brand new toys, and it was like a Wii, and I was like, oh my god. And so, but I was like, whatever. I wasn't thinking about that. I was thinking about hiding. So when they eventually found me, we just noticed the toys. We were like, oh, maybe they're just boxes or something. And then it turned out that's what they got for Christmas. So then they knew
Oh,
that it was
wow.
So
It's
yeah,
all your fault.
it is. I got in trouble. So
You got in trouble.
typical. What can
Wow.
I say? But
Okay, I have a feeling that we're gonna make a hard, like, left turn, like a U-turn for your story. I don't know.
yeah. Well, it's actually funny because
Okay.
you're talking about the tooth fairy, which is like happy, sweet, cutie. I'm talking about the legend of the Strigoi, which, if you know me and you know Savannah, you know that we have a big love for vampires.
Oh, yes.
So we're going down the vampire rabbit hole once again for the third time.
Okay, okay. I don't think I've heard that name before though. The
That
Strigoi.
is crazy, yeah. So, I guess jumping right on into it. The Strigoi comes from Roman mythology, which we don't really
Okay.
hear much about. But in Roman mythology, they are said to be troubled spirits that they rise from the grave, which quite literally is what the word Strigoi means in Romanian, to rise from the grave. So they're called the Strigoi, but they're also sometimes called Striga, which means to scream. So
Wow.
they're beings.
So rise from the dead and scream.
They rise from the dead and they scream. So that's
That's me when I wake up in the morning.
literally me. Cool. White, literally, we are Strigoi. Only until that point, and then nothing else.
Yeah.
They also have the ability to transform into animals, different animals. Unfortunately, I can't do that. Not that I've
yeah,
learned. Not at least not yet,
No, yeah.
in my life. They can also become invisible, and they also gain power from drinking the blood of their victims.
Oh, okay. There it is.
There it is. Yeah. So, fun fact, Bram Stoker's Dracula has actually become the modern interpretation of the Strigoi. So,
Okay.
yeah.
So they yeah, okay, that makes sense.
So basically
So that
how
was like
I'm
the
gonna
first idea for it.
yeah. So I'm kind of gonna it's hard to frame this. Okay, before I even say that. We have covered some history of vampires in the past. 2 different episodes. And those are episodes 20 and 86. So go listen to those to get some more knowledge on just vampires overall. Because this will be, I suppose, our 3rd installment on the history of vampires. This time from Romania. The other times they were from, I forgot to write it down, but other places than Romania.
Yeah, other
So-
places. I don't remember either.
Yeah. Well, no, one is New Orleans. I know that.
Yes, yeah.
But the other one, I'm having a hard time remembering where. But let's just make this clear now. All Strigoi are vampires. But not all vampires are Strigoi.
Okay.
Okay?
Makes sense.
So let's just keep that in mind. So I mentioned that this is a part of Roman mythology, so there are certain criteria that you have to meet to become a Strigoi. So let's just go ahead and get into it, okay? The first and probably the easiest way I would say you can be a Strigoi is if you are the 7th child of the same sex in a family.
Oh my God. That's a
So,
lot of kids, and they
yeah.
all have to be the same.
Yeah, so odds are you're not even the 7th child just in general. Like,
Right.
you're like 9, 10, 11 down the line.
Oh, wow.
So that's
Okay.
already hard. Number 2 is pretty easy. Lead a life of sin. Check. Just kidding. Number 3 is die without being married. Yoinks. 4 is die by execution for specifically perjury. So I don't know why. I tried to look up why specifically being executed for perjury is on there. Like, not for murder, not for treason, perjury. I don't know. I
Right.
guess the Romans had something against lying, is my guess. Because I couldn't really find anything for that.
Yeah.
Another way is to die by suicide or to
Okay.
die from a witch's curse.
Oh,
So
wow.
those are like the first main 6 criteria that you can meet to become a Strigoi, and you only got to be one. Only got to meet one of them, and you can
Okay, I
become a
was just gonna
Strigoi.
ask. Yeah, so you
Yep,
just have to do one.
yep. Do one, and you can. When you die, you're gonna become a Strigoi.
I mean, I don't know. Like, I
Like
might
we
turn
might.
into one.
It's possible. It's possible. And
Like, it
then
doesn't.
over the
It doesn't seem too
years,
hard.
no, it doesn't. But then over the years, they found more ways that you can become a Strigoi.
What?
So the list is
Okay.
only getting bigger.
Oh, wow.
And so, for example, one way is being born with an extra nipple, which in that case means Mr. Harry Styles himself will die and become a Strigoi because he
What?
has 2 extra nipples. Fun fact.
Oh my gosh, you're right.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
So
Wow.
he's gonna become a Strigoi
Hmm.
one day. Yeah. So also not on the list is if you get bitten by a Strigoi and survive, then you will become one yourself. So that didn't get added to the list because there were no survivors for like the beginning of the Strigoi. They went kind of ham. But then eventually they just realized that they could only suck a little bit of blood and leave somebody alive. And then they kind of could create a Strigoi army, if you will.
Oh, wow. Uh, Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just. Wow.
So yeah, and I find it all very interesting because all of those points are like very specific things. It feels like one of those TikToks that are like, good night, except for,
Yes.
like, and then they list very specific things.
Yes.
Like, that's
No,
what
I
this
know.
feels like.
Exactly. It does.
But anyway, some more things about the Strigoi. They are very lazy and they sleep during the day, so they're nocturnal.
Wow.
They,
Just daytime nappers. That's me.
which me, yep, me.
Except actually, that's a lie because I don't actually nap during the day. But
Oh, I do.
laying
Any
down,
chance I can. You're a lay downer. Well, that's fine because some of them are just lazy in the day.
yeah. So that's me.
Like
Yeah.
they don't always sleep during the day. They just laze around. So, felt that. They attack their victims only at night, leaving teeth marks on the corpses, typically.
Okay.
Which all, sounds very vampire like. But
Yes, I
then,
was gonna say.
yeah, it sounds so far vampire. But this is when we're going to get into a little. This is why Strigoi are different
Okay.
than vampires. So all the above is true about them. But they can also be more witch-like and also ghost-like. So
Oh.
Strigoi can also manifest as ghosts or spirits. They, like I said, can become invisible and they can make noises, hit, touch, and bite people all while like appearing as a ghost or invisible
Oh,
to them. So maybe some ghosts that we've encountered actually are just Strigoi trying to get us,
interesting.
which that's horrifying.
I mean,
And
I've never had a ghost try to bite me though.
well, same that I know of.
I mean, true. They've
But
never succeeded.
they've never, thank goodness they've never succeeded. But I have heard of ghost stories where they feel like they were bitten. So maybe not in the neck, but like, I don't know. Very interesting, very interesting. So, and then like I also said, they do have magical powers, and this is kind of where the witch part comes into. They feel like, because they can transform into other animals, and typically vampires transform into bats, but apparently Strigoi can become whatever animal they really want to be.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, like I said, all Strigoi are technically vampires, but not all vampires are Strigoi. But there are a lot of resources online that kind of use vampire and Strigoi interchangeably. But just clearing it up, just know there's some differences. Okay? So let's get to the first documented story of a Strigoi. Okay? There was this man named Yuri Grando, and he died in 1656. And, he died tragically, but then rose from his grave the night after he was buried and completely tortured his village. He went on a rampage. The village priest, Father Giorgio, he banished the Strigoi to hell and chopped off his head.
Oh my God. Chopped off his head.
Yep. Yep, indeed.
I don't know why. I was just not expecting that.
Well,
at all.
the priest said that was the only way to kill it.
Yeah.
And the priest, I guess, would know.
This is giving Medusa.
Right. It's giving Medusa from Percy Jackson. Which is why, every story relates back to Percy Jackson.
Everyone.
Finally, Savannah's starting to see the vision. But even though that is already a crazy story, that he chopped off his head, it gets crazier. Because 2 nights after this second death of when he got his head chopped off, Yuri Grando appeared to his widow in her bedroom as a ghost. But it was not the happy greeting that he was expecting. She was terrified and described him as looking like a corpse who appeared to both be smiling and also gasping for breath at the same time.
Oh.
And then he came into her room and assaulted her.
Okay.
So,
No.
yeah. Yeah. So then, Father Giorgio was obviously called back in. And this is where he was said to come face to face with the vampire. And I'm like, with the vampire slash ghost slash Strigoi. And he held a cross in front of them. And it ran and got away. And so I guess they can just kind of change form, shape shift through all kinds of life once they're dead. But one of the villagers actually saw him running and chased it and tried to kill it by piercing its heart with a hawthorn stick, but failed because when he tried to stab the stick through his chest, it just bounced off of his chest.
Oh, wow. So it just failed immediately.
Failed. Yep. But then, apparently, they finally chopped off his head a second time. And this time he really did die. And it said that he died with a huge smile on his face.
Oh, okay.
So, he already died once, came back as a vampire, chopped head off, came back as a ghost vampire, chopped head off again, final time.
That is so crazy to have your head chopped off twice.
Right.
What?
He was not giving up easily, I'll tell you that right now. And also, I couldn't tell if that's really the true narrative of the story or if that was a loose translation of the story.
Right, yeah.
So it could be a little off, but that's what I found on multiple sites. So,
Yeah, we're just gonna go with it. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. But as you can probably imagine, since the 1600s, there have been many other Strigoi that have had to been killed. So people have found other ways to kill them other than chopping their head off twice. So let me tell you those,
Okay.
just in case you run up on a Strigoi. You need to kill them quickly. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. You can break its heart in half,
Oh wow. Okay.
like physically,
So what?
not
Just like,
emotionally.
oh yeah. So you just like reach into their chest, rip it out, and break
Cut
it
it
in
in
half.
half. Yep,
Easy.
easy. Yeah, very easy. You can also dig a nail into their forehead, which is
What?
sick, but
Oh
okay.
my god.
You know, a little more actually on the easy side. You can place garlic under its tongue, and then it's gone.
Okay.
So that's the one I'm going with.
Yeah, see, that one seems like the easiest one so far.
Easy, but also hard. Like how I'm sure he's like protecting his tongue. Like you're not get, and also like you don't want to get bit. So that one
Yeah.
that is kind of hard.
Well, you just have to like flirt with them a little bit
Yeah, or okay,
to get
that
close.
that where I'm like, you want my blood of Strigoi,
Exactly.
or
Yeah.
I'm
Just get
thinking you
closer.
like sneak into his house like during the day when he's sleeping, and then put it in his mouth.
Right. Yeah.
That might be
Yep.
the easier way to do that. Lastly, now this one, if we want to talk about being specific, this is the most specific thing I've ever heard. But
Okay.
this is apparently another way that you can kill a Strigoi is if you smear it with pig fat all over it.
Oh.
But it has to specifically be from a pig that was killed on St. Ignatius's Day.
Oh, when is that?
I don't know.
Okay.
Because I was gonna say my literally next point. I did not have time to look more deeply into that one,
Oh, right. Yeah. Of
unfortunately.
course.
Yeah, unfortunately. And I was like, I only saw it once, so I was like, maybe that's not even like valid, but I had to mention it because that is very specific. So, who is to say? So you might be asking yourself, are the Strigoi still around today? Well, back in 2004, there was this man named Peter Toma who died. But a few weeks later, his niece revealed that she had been visited by her late uncle and that he looked very dead, but also he was smiling very creepily. And after that, and other than his appearance, she wouldn't say anything else that happened. So we don't know exactly what happened after that. But she did tell people like in her family. So after a little bit of alcohol, some of her family members and some of their friends, like people in the town, went and dug up Peter Toma's body
Huh.
because he had just died. And his body, fun fact, was still in the ground. So she was seeing his ghost, I have to assume.
Oh, okay.
And
Yeah.
they made an incision in his chest and removed the heart and cut it in half. And then they burned the rest of his body just for good measure, I suppose.
Oh my god.
So that happened in 2004. So even if the Strigoi are not still around, the belief is definitely still there because they really did all of this just 20 years ago. And actually, the 6 family members all ended up getting charged with disturbing the peace of the dead. And they were originally sentenced to some jail time, but then they ended up just paying some fines. So, honestly, it's good what they did. Maybe he was a Strigoi. I don't know.
I guess so. I don't know. That's like a lot to like.
No, it
Yeah,
is.
that's
It is
just.
a lot. But, like, if they really believed that that was what was happening, then, I mean, obviously they did, or why would they have done that? Because that was their family member, too. So, crazy, crazy story. But people most definitely still believe the Strigoi exist. And there is a TV show that is called The Strain. And it's basically an apocalypse of Strigoi. And once you're bitten, if you survive, you become one. And basically, that turned into the whole world becoming, or like half of the world becoming infected and becoming the Strigoi. So people have to like fight them and stuff. So it's a really good show. It's like not on anymore, like new episodes, but it's very good. I watched it when it was out. I loved it. And yeah, I would definitely recommend. It's called The Strain.
How many episodes is it?
I don't know. I think it's like 4 or 5 seasons.
Okay.
So.
And what was it called?
It's pretty good. The Strain.
The Strain.
And it wasn't like. It was like a strain of an infection that made people act like Strigoi. So it wasn't like they are Strigoi. That's just. It was like a disease. But it made them act like it. So that's what they called them. So.
Interesting.
Very interesting. Definitely check it out. I don't know what you can watch it on, but you can watch it on something. That's for sure.
Yeah, something.
My guess is Hulu, because it's a FX show. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
So, but yeah, that is the legend of the Strigoi.
Wow, I do love the vampire-ness of them.
Yeah, they're really mean though.
Yeah,
like
they do seem really mean.
I suppose maybe are all vampires mean? I don't know.
I mean,
I don't know.
well, they do just like kill people, so
they do. They do that. So, not good. Not good at all. But definitely go check out our Instagram for some pictures from this week. Some renditions of some Strigoi and the Tooth Fairy. Should be very cute together, if I have to imagine.
Oh my gosh. Sometimes our stuff just like is so like different that it's so funny.
It really is. Like I'm like trying to like we normally have similarities in our story. What's our similarity? This week, I don't know. I don't know if there's one there.
Yeah, I don't really know either. I don't think I can help you there.
Wow. Well, you know, it had to have happened sometime. You know, no similarities. So you've caught us on a rare day, I would have to say.
Yeah.
But go rate and review us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. But that's really all I have for you guys this week. What about you, Savannah?
That's it.
Okay, well then I guess we will see you guys next week.
Cue the music.